Are you looking for the RAM for gaming? In this video we will look at some of the 7 RAM for gaming on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Corsair Vengeance. Corsair's Vengeance line of memory has ranked among the best memory options for well over a decade now. And their DDR5 edition is no different. While there are faster kits out there, including within the Vengeance lineup and options that offer lower CL latency, we like this specific Vengeance kit as it offers not only ample amounts of memory, 32GB, good speed, 6400 MHz, excellent latency, CL32, and good timings, 32-40-40-84, but it also comes in at a relatively affordable price, $120. You'll be hard-pressed to find another memory kit out there that can offer that mix of speed and capacity for a better price, with exception to GSkill Ripjaws S5, which is listed below as our top low-profile DDR5 choice. And, with a slightly lower price tag, it might even be the better option for you. Of course, there are other excellent DDR5 memory options out there depending on what you want to do. Corsair has kits that have a faster clock rate but higher latency, as does TMJ Upt T-Force Delta, Patriot, Viper Venom, and GSkill Trident Z5, and there are other kits out there that have lower clock rates and lower latency. But ultimately, this Vengeance kit will provide you with excellent performance, and it comes with a very reasonable price tag considering the competition. Number 2. GSkill Ripjaws V. If you're looking to build a DDR4-based PC, or you need to upgrade your PC and you are looking for some solid overall memory, this GSkill Ripjaws kit, or another in the Ripjaws series, would be worth checking out. This Ripjaws V kit comes with 32GB total, 2x16GB of memory, with a clock rate of 3600 MHz, a latency of CL16, and timings of 16-19-19-39. Again, like with the Vengeance kit listed above, this set of Ripjaws memory is not the absolute fastest DDR4 kit on the market. Options like Patriot's Viper Steel offer 4000 MHz at a latency of CL16, and TMJ Upt's Create Expert series offers 3600 MHz at a latency of CL14. However, those two kits cost significantly more, $150 for the Patriot kit and $180 for the TMJ Upt kit. And, really, unless you're doing extreme system tuning, the real-world difference between those kits and this GSkill kit will be difficult to see. So, we chose the Ripjaws V as our top option for DDR4 memory. Number 3. Corsair Vengeance RGB. Seeing as how we chose Corsair's Vengeance for our top DDR5 RAM option overall, it's no surprise that we also like their Vengeance RGB kits. Again, like with the non-RGB variant, where Corsair's RGB memory kits stand out is not so much in pure speed, but in their overall price-to-performance ratio. This specific kit is essentially the same stick of RAM as the Corsair Vengeance kit listed above. It's a 32GB, 2x16GB kit that comes with a base clock rate of 6400 MHz, a latency of CL32, and a timing rating of 32-40-40-84. The only difference is that this kit has a RGB module on top. Each stick of RAM comes with 10 zones of RGB lighting which can be configured and modified through Corsair's ICUE software. There are other excellent DDR5 RGB kits out there, though. GSkill's Trident Z5, Patriot's Viper Venom, and TMJ Upt's T-Force Stream are also worthy options. However, most of the cost a bit more than Corsair's RGB options at similar specs. And, while we like the Vengeance RGB lineup at its current price, it would be worth checking out the other options as well, as price changes could make another option the better value choice. Number 4. Ooo Blade RGB. Ooo hasn't been around as long as Corsair or GSkill, but in their short time in the consumer memory market, they have built a solid reputation. We like their Blade RGB series as the best option for DDR4 RGB memory. This 16GB, 2x8GB Ooo Blade kit in particular comes with a clock speed of 3600 MHz, a latency of CL16, and a timing rating of 16-20-20-40. That's pretty decent specs for a DDR4 memory kit. But, like most of our choices on this list, the Ooo Blade lineup stands out not only because of the performance it offers, but also because of the price it comes in at. At just under $60, you likely won't find a 16GB kit of RGB memory that offers the same specs as the Blade series. There are a lot of other DDR4 memory kits that are worth checking out, including Corsair's Vengeance RGB Pro, GSkill's Trizenzi RGB, TMJ Upt's T-Frost Stream ARGB, and XPG Spectrix, to name a few, but at the moment, none offer better price to performance than Ooo's RGB kit. Number 5. GSkill Ripjaws S5. While we chose Corsair's Vengeance as our pick for the best DDR5 RAM, the reality is that GSkill's Ripjaws S5 is just as good. It has nearly identical specifications, with a rated clock speed of 6400 MHz, CL32 latency, and 32-39-39-102 timing. It's also a 32GB, 2x16GB kit, and it costs $110, which is slightly cheaper than the Vengeance kit listed above. The only real difference between the two sticks of RAM is the heatsinks. Where Corsair's Vengeance comes with a slightly bigger and flashier design, GSkill's Ripjaws S5 come with a smaller and simpler design. And, while memory heatsinks are put on to help keep temperatures lower, the reality is they don't make a significant difference in the majority of cases, and that's especially true when comparing one brand's heatsink to another's. So, if it were up to us, we'd choose whichever kit was less expensive at the time of purchase. However, from an aesthetic standpoint, the red lettering on the Ripjaws S5 might give it slightly less appeal than Corsair's more neutral color design. But looks won't matter to most builders, and if that's the case for you, we suggest buying the cheaper kit, which, at the moment, is this GSkill kit. Number 6. Corsair Vengeance Lpx. Yet another memory category and yet another recommendation for a Corsair Vengeance kit. When you think of low-profile memory options available over the past decade, perhaps none are so easy recognizable as Corsair's Lpx series. In reality, Corsair's Lpx lineup isn't even the shortest memory option on the market. However, they are the most widely available and they generally offer good performance for the price they come in at. This 32GB, 2x16GB DDR4 Lpx kit is no different. This kit is tested at 3600 MHz and has a latency of CL16 and a timing rating of 16-19-19-36. It's not the fastest memory option out there, but at just under $90 it offers good speed and a lot of memory capacity for a pretty reasonable price. Ultimately, if you're looking for a good low-profile DDR4 memory kit, you should consider Corsair's Vengeance Lpx lineup. Number 7. TMJ Upt Create Classic. If what you're looking for is a cheap DDR5 kit that will give you plenty of memory capacity, then TMJ Upt's Create Classic is probably the best option for you. This TMJ Upt kit offers 32GB, 2x16GB of DDR5 memory for just a little over $75. That's pretty incredible, consider that would have been the cost of 16GB of DDR4 memory just a few years ago. The low price does come with lower performance, though. This Create Classic kit is tested at 5600 MHz, has a latency of CL46, and comes with a timing rating of 46-46-46-90. That means it's one of the slower DDR5 kits on the market. But in the grand scheme of things, not everyone needs the fastest memory configuration possible. And, for gaming specifically, having slightly slower RAM that has a lower latency won't drastically impact your in-game experience in the majority of scenarios. There are some situations where slower RAM can lead to a noticeable decrease in performance, but it really depends on the games you are playing and the CPU in your system. As a general rule of thumb, Intel's newer CPUs and AMD's 3D V-Cache don't benefit very much from having faster memory, whereas AMD's non-3D V-Cache processors do get a performance bump. In any case, this TMJ Upt Create Classic will suit the needs of the majority of users without costing an arm and a leg.